Oh, this is new. Okay. This is a strange place. This is going to be very pretty when it's done. It's your doing, isn't it? Ah, yes. Of course you're working on it. Like all the rest, I guess. You can do better than this. That's the electric whip. Let's see. Infamous did good and evil really well. I don't remember Infamous that well. Do they have, is Infamous available on PS4, or is that only, let's go with the shield. I've used electric whip and they've kind of nerfed it. Because, yeah, I'd actually love to play through the Infamous games. I played through Infamous 1 in college. PS exclusive. Yeah, but is it PS3 or can I get it on PS4 as well? Because if I can get it on PS4, hell yeah, I'd love to play through the Infamous games, but if they're not available, then obviously can't do it. They give you different abilities based on good and evil stuff. Yeah, Infamous was super obvious. I know I got the good ending. I don't really remember how or why or whatever. Honestly, so I played Infamous 1 in college with my roommate, but we would alternate. So, like, I think I only played, like, half the game. But I was the one who beat it, and he wasn't around because he'd gone home. Which was hilarious. Because neither of us got the full story, and we never communicated what happened on either of our playthroughs and stuff like that. You can play through the whole franchise on PS4. Okay, I'd have to take a look at it. And no, I do not want to know how you get the good ending for Persona 5. I can look that up. Okay, well, let's put it in health. It's reasonable. Hey, I can use this now. Sweet. Oh, we could go to the dark area. Do we want to go to the dark area? That seems like a terrible idea. But then again, with my, extreme... What's this? Beware! Please do not use this shortcut without being properly prepared. Risk of permadeath. Funny. They added that. That's neat. I've got a gnarly sore throat right now. Well, that's okay. I've got some ice cream waiting for me when I'm finally done. I'm trying to think of games that did endings really well. You know what really grinded my gears? I don't know how many of you guys played Final Fantasy X-2. It was both one of my favorite and least favorite Final Fantasy games ever. Because it had absolutely fun combat mechanics, and like the world exploration was kind of cool. But Final Fantasy X-2 also had the shittiest way to get the good ending ever, which is you had to 101% the game, which involved spying on people for hours. Please don't spoil the ending for it. I mean, I'm not even gonna go out of my way for that. But yeah, I was not a fan of Final Fantasy X-2's ending system, because you had to like actively there was a chapter where pretty much the entirety of it was like super short and involved like some prep work and then a cutscene, and then the chapter was over. Unless you like got really into the prep work, at which point involved you big brothering it over every single NPC in the entire Final Fantasy X universe for the most part. And then you got, that would get you like X amount of percentage, and you had to X amount of percentage the rest of the way through. I thought it was frustrating because I really didn't want to just sit there and, I didn't want to just sit there and watch people for hours just so I could get the true ending. And to this date, I still have not seen the true ending of that game. I stopped at 99-something%. I was really frustrated by that. Isn't there going to be a Final Fantasy X-3? That would be really weird if there was. I highly doubt it. But yeah, I was like only like a half percentage away, and I was just like, this is so bullshit, I don't want to touch it. Okay, so let's try going up to the toxic sewers. I might be able to get to the, I might be able to get up to the, ossuary from here. Prey had a really weird good-bad scenario. Sorry, it turns out post-nasal drips are the reason behind my sore throat. Okay, oh! Has 2 or more arrows in the body. Okay, yeah, let's go with the quick bow. Part of the reason why I want to go with the quick bow is, my cheating thing actually lets me get unlimited ammo. But Prey had an absolutely wonderful system for the good-bad endings. And for the most part, it took, like, no effort. I actually really appreciated that with Prey, because it was super obvious what you were going to get. And technically, yeah, you could do the save scumming, but, like, even if you didn't save scum, it was super obvious what kind of ending you were going to get, and it was neat that they rated you based on your morality going through the game. That they're like, hey, you did this good thing, or, oh, you didn't do this good thing. And it felt good, because it was actually acknowledging the player's actions over the course of the game. And that was a wonderful way of doing it, because it wasn't contrived, it wasn't this, like, shitty bad ending. Well, okay, so the endings were kind of lame, and its sequel baited hard. But it was way more interesting because, you know, I actually felt like I had player agency in selecting the ending I wanted through my own actions, as opposed to just, like, hooray, you were a good person. Here's the good ending. It's like, no, there were all options there. Whoop. There. Yeah, I wish more games would kind of try and do that, where the ending really changed based on your actions. Like, you killed this person, but you saved this person, and, like, you almost kind of have to answer for your crimes as part of it. Actually, going back to Undertale, Undertale had that kind of judgment system with Sans there. I don't know why I was going to say Sans. I think I've been playing too much Persona. How about Chrono Cross? I never actually played Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross. My wish for the 100% good ending of Final Fantasy is in Discord. I don't think I'm going to watch it. I think I'm just so, like, set and, like, just accepting that I don't care anymore. Okay, let's go for the money amulet. Come to think of it, I want to start stacking as much cash as we can. Yeah, I never saw Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross. I'm sure they have probably interesting endings, just never got around to them. Maybe that'll be that'll show up as a Patreon specific game. Yep, there we go. But yeah, going back to Undertale, when Sans, like, judges you for, like, your actions and stuff like that, I thought that was a really clever system, because it really... Whoa, hi. But... Okay. It made it feel like you were actually, you know, being judged, and not just like, oh, you're arbitrarily the good or the bad guy. And I appreciated that, because they actively, like, had different dialogue. I mean, it didn't really matter that much. But they had different dialogue depending on, like, did you do horrible things? Did you do okay things? I think the other problem I have with this whole, like, morality ending system and, like, good ending, bad ending, is in a lot of cases, like, a lot of these endings are kind of based around the concept of, like, killing is bad, or, you know, well, I guess really, in a lot of cases, it really is just straight up, killing is bad. And, that always bugs me in games, to some degree. For Dishonored, for example, I mean, it's like about a guy out for revenge for the most part, and, like, trying to fight against an evil, you know, guess, government that took over for him, and you're, like, killing legitimately evil people, to, you know, get your daughter back and stuff like that. after they murdered your wife, and it's just, well, not wife, but your lover-ish. And I guess finding out that, hey, by the way, you killed people who probably deserved it. It's like, what? No, what? It's like, technically, yeah, killing is bad, and that's something that should probably be reestablished. But in a lot of these like video game contexts, yep. Let's go over here before we get blown up. Blown up. Words. Before we get blown up. I would much prefer to have like an engaging story where it's like, yeah, your decisions were righteous or not. That makes way more sense to me. I don't know. Been ranting about this too much. I'm trying to think of other things. Because, yeah, I guess really it's just like, if you were like a backstabbing bastard, okay, getting betrayed in the end and like getting the bad ending, yeah, probably kind of makes sense. Oh, time door. Okay. We should really probably go like really fast there. See if there's anything useful in these time doors now. Let's go down. I'm just loaded on health. What do I want to go for, stat-wise? I did a skill run last time. Let's go for a damage run this time. Or a melee run this time. Keep it fresh here. How about the choices in Mist Riven? Mist and Riven are a little weird. This gets Shell's interest almost immediately. So, I will admit I haven't played a whole lot of Mist, so I can't comment on it too much, but one ending that she's specifically told me about is one where to get the good ending, you're...
What are you referring to?
The one where getting the good ending, like the true good ending, required you to find more or less an Easter egg with the book. Like, you had to just drop the book or, like, throw it away or something like that.
Oh, that was End of Ages.
Yeah. You want to explain it, seeing as I haven't?
Okay. So, essentially, an End of Ages, it's the final game of the Mist series. So, throughout the entirety of the series, you followed Atreus and his family and their attempts to create, like, a new realm for the people of the Denis and whatnot. And Yisha is his daughter and sister to Cirrus and Akinar, who were the antagonists of the first game. And then they came back in the fourth, but that was interesting. In any case, then there's this other guy named Escher, and he wants to bring the Denis back to their former glory too, but it turns out that this was introduced in Uru, that the people of the Denis who lived underground and created the art of writing that created the ages, the worlds that you link to, they had actually somehow derived that technology from these creatures called the Bahro. And the Bahro, if I could describe them, they're like a mixture of like Ice Age sloths with bats and like, what were they? Morlocks from the Time Machine or something. Just bizarre subterranean creatures. And for a while it had been implied that they were maltreated, enslaved, and whatnot. So throughout your adventures in End of Ages, Escher is trying to compel you to his side of the argument of, we will rebuild Denis and it will be excellent and blah blah blah, and don't try to aid the Bahro. And it's like, okay, I already don't like you. You sound pretty evil. Meanwhile, Yisha is sort of erratic and goes like between various arguments with herself. It's like, maybe we don't deserve this, and the Bahro, they deserve their freedom, but blah, blah, blah. And she's starting to act like manic and crazy, and actually outright tells you that if you reclaim this awesome tablet that's supposed to help the Bahro and the Denis, that you're not to give it to her. So I go, okay, this lady acknowledges that she's hungry for power, and she outright tells you not to give her this special tablet that you're venturing through all of these worlds and trying to unlock it. So, yeah, don't give it to her. Even though she's the better of the two, yeah, just don't give it to her. So the end comes, and I have the tablet in my hands, and Yisha's there, and she's begging for it, but she's warned you about this moment. She's warned you that in the end, she will come to you, want the tablet for herself, and that you're not to give it to her. So I go, okay, I'm leaving now. And because at that point, she just closes her eyes and outreaches with her hands, and you can give her the tablet. But she told me not to give her the tablet. So I walk around the room. I try to see if there's anything I can do. It's like, So then I went to Mist, and I was so upset because Escher was there. And he's like, "Bwah, you brought the tablet to me, ha!" And he proceeds to, like, scrawl writing all over it so that it could never be used again. And, "Ha, the Bahara will never be free, ha!" And it was just like, what? This isn't the ending I wanted. So then I go back, and I go, what do I do? And, of course, you know, I tried the Isha ending, and that was bad. The tablet just disappears, and everyone is sad. And I go, but... So I'm standing in the room, and usually you don't do this in games. You just don't, like, look at the ground. Unless you're searching for something in particular. Like, I would turn over every stone. But it was odd because the cursor changes ever so subtly. And you go, oh. And I was able to put the tablet on the ground. And then the Baharo come out of the shadows, and they gleefully take it, and then take you and Yisha to a beautiful land. Because it turns out they had wings all along. They just sort of sprouted them from their backs. And everything is happy. And I go... Like, it seemed to set it up that there were only two options, and you were supposed to figure out what the correct one was. But there was the third option. You always choose the third option. Which wasn't really obvious, but hey. Like, if there was a Bahro standing there, going like, hey, can I have the tablet? I'd be like, yes, you may have the tablet, Bahro. Free your people. But they disappear at will. They were probably just watching the entire time.
Main point from that is the ending was, like, hidden in secret. The ending was hidden in secret and therefore garbage.
Hey!
Well,
it was just...
like, it's not a bad ending. It's just, like, I don't know. I don't want to have to jump through a billion hoops, unless the billion hoops are interesting, to get an ending that doesn't make me feel like a shitty, useless person. What game is Shell talking about? Myst 5?
Yes, End of Ages.
Yeah.
And that was the end of Ages.
Let's see. It's Myst. Go figure, it was hidden. But, like, for Myst, the ending shouldn't be hidden. The ending should be locked behind, like, several more puzzles and all sorts of crazy nonsense.
Oh, don't forget about Mixed Exile, where if you forget particularly what switches you have to flip at the very end, you might accidentally let the villain go, or have him kill you, or have him chuck the book that you were supposed to get off the edge if you do it like one of three ways incorrectly. I have nightmares about that. And I actually finished it the correct way the time that I played it on the train after I hadn't for probably 10 years. But my heart was pounding the whole time because I'm like, wait, this was the switch that turned off the shield, and this is the one that's supposed to switch the shield on the doorway, but if I don't switch the one on the doorway, then he might attack me, but if I don't turn off this one... Yeah. I was so scared.
Do you need to play the other Myst games to get Myst 5? Not really.
Quite frankly, if you were to get any of the Myst games, my favorites of the series were actually Riven, Exile, and Revelation, which were the second, third, and fourth games. Because, like, the first one is a classic, but the second one, I mean, they had really upped the ante for it. And Exile, the same. Revelation was just amazing.
Can you scoot your chair forward? I don't like the squeaky.
Oh, sorry. But Uru and End of Ages were actually done in a different style, and by, I think, another, maybe even a different studio was helping them out with it, but they no longer had the pre-rendered environments, and they no longer had the live footage of actors portraying the characters, which was a classic technique that they'd used in all the other games. So it wasn't quite the same feel. I mean, Uru especially, they had intended to make into an MMO, which was why it was played in the third person. I believe Uru is the only one that you play in the third person.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay. Give me a chance to focus on stuff. Okay, so let's see if this is any good. Okay, this looks like it might be amazing. Let's get over here. Freeze, whip. Freeze, whip, whip, whip. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. Oh, we get the torch blueprint. I don't know if I'm gonna keep the torch, honestly. We'll see. I'll figure that one out. Okay, hi? Well, alright. Extra strength, yes. Okay, that means I gotta... Unfortunately, I'm manually controlling my strength value, so if I ever, like, pause in the middle of this, it's because I have to tick things up and stuff like that. But that's okay. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I'm not regretting the wrenching whip. I don't like it as much as, some of the other ones, but it's fast enough to be worth it. Main thing is the actual wrenching effect is kind of useless, but it works great with the bonus damage on frozen enemies, so let's go with this. Also, that range on the freeze is awesome. That is so effective. The range is worth it too. Okay. Question, is Endless Space worth getting? Yeah, I'd say so. Endless Space 2. Though, it might be cheaper to get Endless Legend right now. Endless Space 2 is amazing, but, Endless, Legend, more complete and slightly less bugs. I've noticed Endless Space needs a little bit more dev time. For a game in, 1.0. I don't know. Did they make those guys smaller? I think they did. Yeah, Shell's always loved the Myst games. I've never played any of them. I should. Someday. No, it's okay, Shell. I know you want to speak.
I was like probably 4 years old when my dad started playing them, and I would watch. And then I played them all on my own when I was older.
I did that with Mega Man. They're both two series that have been almost completely abandoned by their creators. Or owners at this point. I feel so bad. Ubisoft get good games and then just completely ruin them.
Oh yeah, that's the other issue. You can get Myst, Riven, and Uru on Steam, but it's Exile, Revelation, and End of Ages that you have to buy on disc still.
Yeah, those are... Ugh. It'd be nice if there was just like a remaster. But that remaster would be impossible.
Do you remember the days when you had to switch discs every time you went to a different world or
Yep.
realm?
I had to do that with Baldur's Gate. It was atrocious.
I remember with Riven there were 5 different discs, and it's like, you rode the tram to the next island. Oh, please switch to disc 3.
I mean, you didn't switch that much. Sometimes with Baldur's Gate, it's like, you've traveled from one town to the other. Switch discs, please. And it's like, no, please don't do that. How about Shell plays Myst 4? She played Myst 1.
I played Myst 1. I should probably put it up on my channel.
Yeah.
I played it in one sitting for
when I was sick
for the stream, and that was really nice.
Yeah, the main reason why she hasn't done anything is because I haven't been sick since, so there hasn't been as much of an excuse for her to do so. How many CDs was Baldur's Gate? Far too many. I am not going to succeed at... What? Come on! Well, whatever. I don't really care about those anyway. Okay, yeah, so we still got a fair bit of level left. Miss Legend of Dragoon. Didn't Legend of Dragoon have, like, an insane amount of endings? think it did. Should probably put that up as a Patreon-sponsored series candidate.
Well, my YouTube is called Keeper of Ages, but it's primarily art. I haven't put any of our podcasts or D&D or games on it yet.
Well, if we put Last Will on, you'll put that up. You will?
Well, if I have the D&D footage, that'll be nice.
Yeah, I've got every episode.
Future podcasts, and it's just so weird.
Thought Dragoon only had one ending. I'd swear Legend of Dragoon had like 1 billion. And they were all like minutely varied. I guess I don't even need to freeze these guys. I'll freeze the shell dudes. But most regular enemies I can just whip here. Okay. I'm gonna try and switch gears there, Shell.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay. I don't like those shell guys, but they are mad easy to go after. But yeah, no, I would not mind having Shell stream Miss someday. Maybe she could do like early streams, considering she gets sleepy anyway. Because that would be something. Because we technically don't do anything in the afternoon. Oh, right, I don't have to... Wait, question. Ah, okay. So I can hurt them through their shells, but I take damage. But I can hit the shield guys through their shields. Awesome. See, is there an end to dead cells? Not yet. There's only 2 bosses. And, there's only 2 bosses and no, like, end apart from you dying. Which kind of sucks, but, like, whatever. I don't know. In development, early access game, kind of no surprise that it's got, only 1 ending right now. And that is just dying partway through. Okay. So what is Shell's YouTube channel? YouTube.com/C/Keeper of Ages, I believe.
Why C?
I believe it's C. It's not just YouTube.com/Keeper of Ages. I know that much. For whatever reason, YouTube does not like people having like a... They have to put a qualifier there for whatever reason. And it's dumb. I'm, YouTube.com/user/Wanderbots. Oh, there's actually skill points in the speed room.
I still can't see mine with the proper URL.
I can look it up. I've definitely seen it, like gotten to it in the past. Let's see. So I played Darkest Dungeon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play Darkest Dungeon after this, probably. And then maybe Shell and I will play something after. I don't know. Yeah, the torch is probably worth picking up. Torch is okay. Mainly that fire effect is worth having. Because there are some fun combos with it. Okay, so we don't want the quick bow, and we don't want the torch. If the torch had bonus damage on burning, then yes. Let's see. Have I ever beaten Enter the Gungeon, seeing as I was talking about it earlier? Nope. I've never beaten Enter the Gungeon. I'd like to someday. I just have never had the opportunity to do so.